Hello, beautiful and magnificent beings. Welcome to Energy and Light. Today I would like to share a technique with you that I've been using for the past month. But before I get into that, I would just like to say thank you to the people who inspired it. I actually got the idea from watching one of Phil Good's videos. I don't know if you're familiar with him, but I'm not even sure how to describe his videos. He's very spiritually in tune on higher levels, and some of his stuff's a little out there for me, but I find that a lot of it does resonate with me. So anyway, he was talking about how when he was in the shower, he spent 10 minutes on his feet, just thanking his feet or blessing his feet. And I thought that was kind of funny, because who talks to their body, if you think about it? And I started thinking about it, and not once, probably not most of us, and especially not me, not once have I ever thanked my body or talked to my body. There's been plenty of times that I've been grateful for things that I've accomplished or achieved because of my body, but to actually speak to your body as it were a person. And so I decided to try this. And the second part, the idea came to me from Paramahansa Yogananda. He was a yogi from India that came to America in the 30s, I believe. And he started a school called Self-Realization Fellowship, where he taught Kriya Yoga. And this was very interesting to me. So years and years ago I got into it, actually 2 different times. Probably 20 years ago I started, and then didn't finish, and then it came back into my life again. So it's a year course, and they break it down into 6 months. So I started taking it again, and then after the 6 months I decided it wasn't for me, so I didn't finish it again. And there's a lot of useful information though. I was happy that I did it. So one of the techniques that came from that is he talks about waking up your body, like using your fist and just kind of thumping all over your entire body, up and down. And this can be a little abrupt for me in the morning. I thought just gently rubbing, because it stimulates, it gets the blood flowing. So the minute I wake up in the morning, I start with my hands and I just gently rub them, and I start speaking to them. Thank you, my hands. I love you so much for all the things that you do for me. Without me asking, you constantly grab and hold and carry things. And then just from the hands, go up, the arms, the elbows, the triceps, the biceps, the shoulders, up into my head. Thank you, my beautiful green eyes, for seeing perfectly, clearly for me daily. Thank you, my nose, for all the wonderful smells and helping me to breathe. Your skin, then just go down the body. And basically after I do that, I decided to go a little bit deeper. I start talking to my muscles. Thank you, muscles. Thank you, my organs, and each one individual. And thank you, my bones, for holding it all together. And this takes less than 5 minutes, maybe 3 to 5, but I realize a lot of people do not have time for this or don't want to wake up early to do it. And you can still receive the benefit. Just be thankful. And this is another important part of it. As you're doing it, really feel that gratitude and appreciation, as you're saying thank you for what you do. And if you don't have the time, just say, just kind of rub and scratch, get the blood going, stimulate, and just say, thank you, my body, I love you. Thank you so much for what you do for me daily and nightly while I'm sleeping, without having to ask. What a huge blessing and gift this is that we take for granted, including me. I don't know why, it just never occurred to me to talk to my body. And while I'm doing this, before I even got out of bed, I immediately felt my energy lift. Like I almost started to cry. I was so emotional. And I felt amazing. I almost felt like I was high. And so I continued to do this for a week, 2 weeks. And every morning the same thing. Before I got out of bed, I started to feel overwhelming happiness and joy and gratitude more than normal. And as I got up, and it just continues on into the day. And so I thought, okay, after 2 weeks, how much farther can I take this? What can I do? So I was thinking about it, and I had a chiropractic appointment coming up in a week. I've mentioned this before, but I haven't really discussed it a whole lot on here. For the last 11 years, I've been healing from a traumatic back injury and some hip injury. And the first year, even after that, many doctors told me I was never going to get better and just accept it pretty much, which for me, this was not an option. There's no way in hell I was going to live my life contorted at a 90-degree angle and barely able to move, in constant pain, and I've never experienced anything like it. And though it has been horrible, it's also been a blessing, a tremendous blessing, because it has been the catalyst for my awakening. So, not to get into that too much, I have a background in personal training, bodybuilding for a while, yoga, some Pilates. So basically I started thinking of myself as a client, started from scratch, and just slowly started working from there. And little by little, I would get better, and still, I don't know why this happens, but sometimes I'll go backwards. I'll make great progress, and then my body will kind of slip into some problems. So anyway, my hips have been kind of locked up for some reason. And for maybe 6 months, my chiropractor and I have been trying to work this out, but it's just, for whatever reason, stubborn. So a few days before the chiropractic, I sat down kind of in meditation, just relaxed, and started talking to my hips, my bones. You know, thank you for your support and all you've done. You know, thank you for getting me through this trauma. But we no longer need to hold on to this. And I say we because I identify myself separate from my body. I am not my body. So I just gently talked to my hips. I said how much I appreciate you, what you've done for me, coming back from this trauma. It's okay to let go of this now. It's safe. You know, please work with me. I'm asking you for the first time and telling you how much I appreciate you. Sorry, this is still a little emotional for me. So as you can probably imagine, what happened, the day I went to get my adjustment, just as we were walking in, one last time I just kind of whispered to myself, please, you know, release, let go, it's okay. And he started doing his usual routine, and then we got to the hips, I just took a deep breath and let it out, and at the same time, he and I went, wow, because it just released and popped. It did not hurt, but it popped so loud. I just lay there kind of shaking and laughing and almost crying, and I was so excited. And I wanted to tell him about the technique, but I don't think he's there yet in that space to be open to that kind of healing. So, and so I went home, and a couple days of recovery with heat and ice, because where it's been locked up crooked for so long, it was really strained. My muscles had to readjust and get used to that again. And so after I started to calm down, again I started thinking, what else needs immediate attention? What else can I try this on? And again, it goes back to the injury. I had gained a lot of weight. Well, actually, not a lot. I would say maybe between 20 to 25 pounds. But for me, that's a lot because I'm very petite. I'm only 5'1.5". So I started gaining weight, which is expectable because when you're not working your body out, of course you're going to gain weight. But here's the interesting thing. The place that I gained weight was only around the injury. It was not in any other part of my body. And I noticed it at first, but then I just kind of forgot about it. But then I sat down again with my body in meditation, and I started to say, you know, it's okay to let this weight go. We don't need this weight anymore. And again, the same thing happened. It was kind of like, it was sort of magical. I would say within a month, I lost 3 pounds. Now, I'm not saying this is a magic pill. You can't just sit down in meditation and say, okay, my body lose the weight. That's not going to happen. You still need to exercise. You still need to eat properly. But what it boils down to is going back and figuring out why, when, and again, it leads back to the injury. I thought all the way back, which was kind of difficult to remember some of the stuff. It was so foggy for so many years. I was going out to a doctor's appointment, which I had no business being out by myself. I should have had someone with me, but there just, at the time, wasn't anybody. And again, like I said, I was contorted at a 90-degree angle. It's a wonder I could even walk. So the one time I was out, someone accidentally bumped into me, and it was so excruciatingly painful. I mean, again, I've never gone through anything like this. I've never had broken bones or injuries. Thank God I've always been healthy. So after that person bumped into me, it's all I could do to get back to the car, where I just sat and cried for about 30 or 45 minutes. And that's the first time I've ever felt terror going out into public. Every time I would have to leave or go out for something, usually just doctor's appointments, because I really could not get around, I would instantly start to fear. If I even saw someone looking like they were going to get close to me, I would just freeze and freak out and start trying to get away because the terror of someone bumping into me again. So that is when I started gaining the weight. My body was using that as a way to protect me, because as I gained the weight and got a little bigger, it made me feel safer. So after remembering all of that, I just, sorry guys. I have not talked to anybody about this, only one person, but not in a long time have I discussed any of this. So it's very emotional for me, as you can imagine. So again, I just sat quietly. I talked to the area where I was injured, and I talked to the weight, and I thanked it. I said, I appreciate you protecting me. Thank you so much for making me feel safe, for what you've done for me. But we no longer need to hold on to this. We're safe now. We're better. We're almost healed. So please work with me, and let's release and let all of this go. And I just, again, after that, each time I do this, I always feel this overwhelming sense of happiness and just light and fluffiness. I don't know how to explain it. And relief, just huge relief and release. And like I said, it's been a month, so this has been amazing, but those are the two most traumatic things that I have been working on. I can't imagine that it won't work for anything else. So if you choose to do this, I would say the morning is the best time, because it's so easily to get distracted. I need to calm down. I'm shaking. So to start in the morning, as soon as your eyes pop open, I mean, normally the first thing I do is gratitude meditation before I even get out of bed. But now, before gratitude, or not meditation, but just stating gratitude for the morning and the good sleep and the day, just immediately start. Thank you, my hands, and I love you, my body. Thank you for all that you do, and just kind of scratch and rub and stimulate and get it going. And I think you'll be amazed at the miracles that will happen. So thank you so much for listening to this and bearing with me. It has not been easy, but like I said, it has been one of the best things that could have ever happened to me, because it has been the catalyst for my awakening. And there's so much more about it I have to share with you, but that's enough for now in this video. I don't think I could take any more. Thank you so much. Highest blessings and infinite gratitude. Sat Nam.